Namaskar, I am your host Narendra. Neutrality. Is there any neutrality in this world, especially uh, among the journalists? Neutrality is a sacred word. But the question is, can there be a possibility of being neutral? There are two types of journalists or two groups of journalists who are pro Modi and anti Modi. So, according to me, one who is pro Modi is not at all neutral, and one who is anti Modi, he is also not neutral. Period. This should be very much clear. Neutrality is a farce. It is the biggest lie of this century. And this has been perpetrated and spread among the journalists who are basically anti Modi and belong to the Lutyens circle and also to the left liberal cabal. When I studied mass communications in University of Dharwad, that is the Karnataka University, we have not been indoctrinated, nor any of the syllabus or the university syllabus or any syllabus for that matter in journalism speaks about neutrality. And among the journalists, the term nationalism also is an abuse or an abusive word. But the fact of the matter is that when I studied my journalism, MA in journalism, we have been taught in the textbooks that the very reason of journalism was to gain Indian independence. So the roots of Indian journalism is based on nationalism and nationalistic politics. You name Mahatma Gandhi, Ambedkar, Abdul Kalam, Azad, so many others, they also were editors and published their own newspapers. And they had an ideology. We know the ideology of Mahatma Gandhi. We know the ideology of Ambedkar. And those ideologies were getting reflected in their views and opinions or articles they used to write in their newspapers. Being neutral is an impossibility. Neutrality is farce. If you're talking or writing against Modi or BJP, that reflects that you are not neutral. You have a stand. You have a political philosophy. So, neutrality is a farce, completely farce, and a biggest lie. One of the most important journalists among the Lutyens media is Ravish Kumar. He had posted a message on Twitter complaining against Prime Minister Modi's remarks, the Scooty remarks on Mamta Banerjee. I don't want to go into the details what he had said, but Mr. Ravish Kumar has taken a dig at Prime Minister's remarks on uh, Mamta Banerjee when he was addressing at the Brigade Parade Ground rally last week. I do understand the sentiments of Mr. Ravish Kumar, and I do know from where he got his degree from, that is from the Indian Institute of Mass Communication, which is just adjacent to JNU. So you can imagine the kind of atmosphere, the leftist atmosphere Mr. Ravish Kumar was surrounded, and one should not be surprised over his views against Hindutva and his views on secularism, not secularism. He had the courage of writing a post against Modi's Scooty remarks. Well, that is right. Under the freedom of expression, he can do so. But we haven't seen him writing a post when the opposition leaders call Narendra Modi as Gandhi Nali ka Kida, Pagal Kutta, Bhasmasur, Bandar, and so on and so forth. Some of them have called him Danav, and few others called him Hitler, Mussolini. What happens to the pen and the voice of Mr. Ravish Kumar? Where it goes off? We have never seen such carpic remarks coming out of the pen of Mr. Ravish Kumar. And he claims that he is neutral. This is the fallacy of people like Ravish Kumar who say when they attack Modi, they are secular and